he's asking particularly about Jim Schwartz and how we feel about him. I think, like everyone else on our feed and like every Jet fan, Jim Leonard would be awesome, but how realistic is that? I don't know.
Right.
Probably not that realistic. Personally, like, I kind of like Schwartz. I like how he calls the defense. He gives me like a better version of Greg Williams vibes
That's what he
when
is.
when he was coaching that chaotic Jet defense. So I would not hate that. I think Raheem Morris is probably going to get fired, and I think he's an interesting candidate when he does. I also don't disagree with Will, some of the names he's been throwing around where they could snoop around the Lions coaching staff and maybe bring someone over. Is there someone who has caught your eye in particular, and how would you feel about a Jim Schwartz? And is there someone we're overlooking in this overall process?
Well, Schwartz is the best of that group from what he does year in and year out. His whole reputation is maybe he's calmed down later in life. He's almost 60 now. He's kind of a loose cannon everywhere. And Greg was too. Some DCs have the personality that when they run their own room, that they start to feel like the head coach of the team. And I think that was a problem at times for Greg. And I think that was been a problem at times for Jim Schwartz. If you feel like you can hone that in and control it, and Wink Martindale and Brian Dable had a ton of friction, then yes, he's the best one. Raheem is, in over his head as a head coach, but he's an awesome guy to have as part of your organization and very comfortable as a defensive coordinator. And that one would make sense because I think Raheem can work with Aaron Glenn on the defense rather than being like, I need this to be my defense. So that one makes a lot of sense. Leonard, yeah, does he get out of there and does he leave there for the Jets? It'd be great. I'd have to see it to believe it. And then this is an exercise I'd have to look at, but a lot of guys want out of the college game right now. Is there a college head coach that you can hire as a DC like the Packers did with Jeff Hafley? Because some guys just don't want to be bothered with all the bullshit in college. And they're like, I'll go be a coordinator, make $2 million a year to be a coordinator of an NFL organization. You look at Hafley, he was the head coach at Boston College from 2020 to 2023. And we've seen guys jump, and it's an adjustment that some guys are okay to make as assistants. So is there a guy you really like at the college level that might be kind of just on cruise control at a program, and you go, why don't you come up here and be a DC and bring up some creative things as well? So that would be really an interesting route to go to.
Wasn't Hafley one of the 4,000 coaches the Jets interviewed this offseason?
I think he was.
The 33rd team process.